Welcome back to WTOL 11 Your Day. It's gone from no numbers to 5, now 9. A little less than 60 years ago, it didn't exist. We're talking about your zip code. Sarah Jenkins from the Fair Housing Center with the role your zip code plays when it comes to your health, well-being, and quality of life. Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So a little bit ago, you guys were on Your Day asking folks to, write an ode to their zip code. This is an annual contest that you guys do. Tell me a little bit about it.
Sure. So this year is actually our 6th year for Ode to the Zip Code. This is a partnership that the Fair Housing Center has with the Arts Commission, the Toledo City Paper, Toledo Area Parent, and the Toledo Lucas County Public Library. And we invite people from the community to submit poems inspired by their zip code. And the format is you take, as you can see, the 6 digits in your zip code, and the number of words in each line is the same as that digit in your zip code. So this is a really fun and creative way to get people thinking about and talking about where they live and how that shapes their day-to-day life experiences.
And you had a pretty good turnout. The contest is closed now, so we're getting ready to find out who won, but you had quite a few people submit.
We did. We received more than 200 entries this year, which was incredible. We were so happy about that. 3 different age categories. So we'll recognize youth, young adult, and adult winners. We had a panel of judges determine who the winners are. And we're having an event in April to announce those winners to the community. So on April 19th, which is 419 Day, we're going to be hosting a virtual event on Facebook Live at 6 p.m. And that'll be an opportunity for everyone to tune in and see who was selected for the top odes this year.
What do you love so much about this contest?
Well, I think for us, it's really a great way to get the community as a whole thinking about and talking about where you live, right? That your neighborhood is not, like where you live is not just an address, right? It affects your overall life experiences. It affects whether or not, you can live in a place that's safe and healthy, whether or not, you have access to amenities. I mean, one of the things I think that's really powerful about this contest is you see the differences in poems, right? So some poems are talking about riding bikes and going to the park and things like that. And other poems are talking about blight and not feeling safe in their neighborhood and those kinds of struggles. And so I think this really helps to highlight and elevate that issue for our community so that we can be thinking about what are the reasons for those differences.
And you put together a documentary about this, and people probably don't realize how much, their zip code, what that means in their everyday lives.
It does. In fact, we know from research that your zip code plays a bigger role in your life expectancy than your genetics.
Wow.
And the reason for that is issues like, for example, we know that in certain neighborhoods, particularly low-income neighborhoods and communities of color, because of historic disinvestment in those areas, people are more likely to be exposed to health hazards, right? And so you see things like higher rates of lead poisoning and higher rates of asthma in those areas. We know that your education is impacted by where you live because you go to the school in your neighborhood, and we know that schools located in areas where the home values are higher, right? Because schools are funded based on property taxes. So schools in those higher income areas are going to have more money for resources and supplies and things like that. So those schools are going to have resources that other schools don't. So there's all kinds of factors from your education, your employment, transportation, your health that are affected by the very place where you live.
So yeah, it makes sense that all of these things would be connected then. And you're going to make a couple presentations. There'll be a few opportunities for people to see this documentary. The first is going to be right here on WTOL 11.
Yes, on April 17th, we are going to be premiering the documentary right here on WTOL. And then on April 29th, we're going to host a virtual event, which will include not only a screening of the film, but a follow-up panel discussion. So some of the experts that were interviewed in the film will be available for a panel discussion. So that'll be an opportunity for people to tune in if they have questions, to talk with the panelists about their questions.
So what do you hope that people, they watch this documentary and tune in, what do you hope they walk away with?
I think for both of these events that we're doing in April, the idea is to raise awareness of the differences and the disparities that we have from one neighborhood to another, and to get people kind of thinking about this issue, and hopefully to bring the community together around how do we make things more equitable? How do we work to make sure that every person in every neighborhood has the ability to live somewhere that's safe and healthy and vibrant, because we all deserve that.
Be a lot to chew on there, but a really great discussion, I'm sure. So again, 3 big dates coming up, 419 Day. So on the 19th, that's when we're going to announce the winners of the Oh Dear Zip Code contest. And then you can watch the documentary here on WTOL 11 on April 17th at 7 o'clock. And then on the 29th at 6 o'clock virtually, folks can tune in and discuss that. And again, it's 7 o'clock here on WTOL on the 17th, right?
Yeah, 7 o'clock on the 17th.
Okay. All right. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Well, thank you for watching Toledo's only live local 9 a.m. show. WTOL 11 Your Day returns in just a moment.